Today we're going to make a copycat version of Starbucks pumpkin spice cold brew, and for that of course you're going to need your cold coffee, which I was lazy this morning and I made the hot coffee and I have it in the fridge chilling, but you can always make a batch of cold brew so it can be authentic cold brew if you'd like. And we're going to make this keto friendly. So the first ingredient we're going to need for our keto-friendly version of the Starbucks pumpkin cold brew cream, pumpkin cream cold brew, is your pumpkin, and it's 100% pure pumpkin. Make sure you do not get the pumpkin pie filling, because the pumpkin pie filling has lots of sugar in it and is not keto-friendly. This pumpkin has, for 1/2 cup, there's 40 calories and 7 net carbs, but we're only going to use 1/4 cup, and the 1/4 cup is going to be spaced out between probably at least 8 or 9 servings, so you're not going to be getting that much, probably if half a carb from the pumpkin per serving, so it's not going to be that bad. Next we're going to need our heavy whipping cream, pumpkin pie spice, and some powdered erythritol. This is the Swerve brand. I also have already opened. I'm going to use it up. This is the powdered erythritol I have open. It's the Now brand, confectionaries, sugar, but I also have the Swerve. Any kind of powdered sugar substitute will work for this. Then you're going to need, of course, your measuring devices, a whisk, and a bowl. So let's get started and make our pumpkin cream. So first I'm going to measure 2 cups of heavy whipping cream into my bowl. This doesn't have to be exact amounts. You can tailor this to however much you want to make and your taste. I'm going to make a kind of a big batch of it because I'm going to give some to some friends so they can see how they like it. You can definitely use a blender for this, but I'm just going to do it by hand because that's the kind of girl that I am. You want to, once you get your ingredients in, you want to whisk this until it's thick, but if you're using a blender, don't whisk it or don't blend it until it's a whipped cream consistency, because then that won't taste right. You just want to whip it until it's thick. So I think using your hand, doing this by hand, first it gives your arm a good workout, and second of all it gives you more control over how thick you make it. Next I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of pure pumpkin. I have an 1/8 cup measuring spoon, so I'll do 2 of these, and it doesn't have to be exact or level. Unless you want exact measurements, then you're more than welcome to do that, but that's close enough for me. I'm not going to get all crazy with the amounts. And then I'm going to freeze my pumpkin, my pumpkin for when I want it again, because if you keep it in the fridge, I found that it will mold. So definitely freeze it if you're not going to use the rest of it. And then I'm also going to add about 1/4 cup of powdered erythritol. I should have measured this before I measured my pumpkin because it's going to stick. And again, this is going to be to taste too, because some people like it sweeter, some people like it less sweet. That's totally up to you. And our last ingredient is our pumpkin pie spice. And once again, I'm not going to measure this. I'm just going to shake a good amount in there, and this will depend on how pumpkin spicy you want your, oops, I just spilled it everywhere. It will depend on how pumpkin spicy you want your pumpkin cream. I think that looks like a good amount to start with. Alright, now that we have all of our ingredients in our bowl, we're just going to whisk it until it starts to get thick. Alexa, set a timer for 2 minutes. And there's what it looks like after we've been whisking it for a while. It's gotten nice and thick. So I'm going to go get my iced coffee and I will show you what it looks like and we will taste test it. Alright, I have my glass of cold coffee. Like I said, I was lazy and I made this morning. You're going to want to make your cold brew and have it chilled, then you won't need ice cubes. But I just added some ice cubes because it wasn't exactly cold enough. I'm going to add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit more pumpkin flavor. I'm going to add some of my Jordan skinny syrup in the pumpkin spice flavor. And then I'm just going to add about, I don't know, a tablespoon or two of the pumpkin cream we just made. This looks divine. Ooh, look at it blended all in there. So normally I would not have this much coffee, and I'm not going to drink this much coffee at one time. This is just for video purposes. So let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Oh, that is delicious. And if you want to go the extra mile and do something a little bit extra, you can get some of the Jordan Skinny foam topping, and this one is in marshmallow flavor, and just give it a couple squirts to the top to make it look like a real Starbucks drink. How good does that look? And there you have your keto-friendly pumpkin cold brew. So as you can see, that batch made quite a lot of pumpkin cream, and as I said, this is going to be, I'm going to share this with some of my friends, so it's not going to all be for me, but it will keep in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. And if you want to cut the recipe in half, if you want to make less, that's good too, or more if you want to share it with your friends, that's good as well.